Halloween has always been my favorite night of the year. The porch lights glowing warm against the October chill, the smell of pumpkin spice drifting through the air, plastic skeletons swaying gently from tree branches, kids laughing in the distance. That's how it started. Last year, my wife and I went all out with decorations, motion-activated witches, fake cobwebs stretched across the railings, a life-size scarecrow sitting on a rocking chair by the door. We even set up a large bowl of candy on a small wooden table at the edge of the porch with a handwritten sign, "Take one, please." It felt harmless, festive, safe. But there had been talk in the neighborhood Facebook group about a rise in package thefts, deliveries vanishing within minutes, doorbell cameras catching hooded figures snatching boxes in broad daylight. People joked about porch pirates, but underneath the humor was real frustration and unease. Still, Halloween felt different. It felt protected, sacred almost. A night where strangers knock on your door and you're supposed to open it with a smile. By 7:30 p.m., the street was alive. Children dressed as superheroes, ghosts, witches, parents trailing behind with flashlights. Our candy bowl was already half empty. I remember thinking how perfect the night was. And then, around 8:15, the doorbell rang. I opened the door expecting another group of kids. Instead, there was only one. A little boy, maybe 8 years old, dressed as a pirate. His costume was detailed: torn vest, plastic hook, fake eye patch pushed up on his forehead. But he wasn't smiling. He wasn't even holding out a candy bag. He just stood there. "Trick or treat," he said quietly. His voice sounded wrong, not childlike, flat, almost rehearsed. I noticed then that the candy bowl was gone. Not tipped over, not spilled, gone. "Did you see what happened to the bowl?" I asked, glancing around the porch. The boy slowly lifted his hand and pointed, not at the table, but at the rocking chair. The scarecrow wasn't sitting the way we'd left it. Its head was tilted downward now, straw hands resting differently on its lap. And there, sitting neatly on its knees, was the candy bowl. Every piece of candy still inside, untouched. A cold ripple ran through my stomach. "That's weird," I muttered, stepping outside. The air suddenly felt heavier, quieter. The pirate boy hadn't moved. I walked toward the scarecrow, telling myself it was just kids messing with decorations, maybe someone trying to be funny. As I reached for the bowl, I noticed something beneath it. A package, one of those brown delivery boxes, my name written across the label, except we hadn't ordered anything. I froze. The box hadn't been there earlier. I'd been outside refilling the bowl twice. I would have seen it. "Did you put this here?" I asked, turning back toward the boy. He was closer now. Not much, just a step or two. "No," he said. The porch light flickered, and that's when I heard it. A faint shuffling sound, not from the yard, from behind me, from inside the house. Every hair on my arms stood up. I slowly turned my head toward the open doorway. The hallway light was on, but the living room light, which we'd left on, was off. I knew it had been on. My wife had gone upstairs 10 minutes earlier to grab more candy from the closet. She should have been coming down by now. The pirate boy spoke again. They come inside when you look outside. My throat went dry. What? I whispered. He didn't answer. He just stared past me, into the house. And that's when I saw it. A shadow move across the hallway wall. Not from outside, from within. I slammed the front door shut and locked it. The pirate boy didn't try to stop me. He didn't knock.
He didn't run. He was just gone. By the time I turned around, my heart hammering in my ears, the porch was empty. I shouted my wife's name and ran upstairs. She was in the bedroom closet, shaken but unharmed. She said she'd heard footsteps downstairs, thought it was me grabbing something from the kitchen. But I had been outside, with the boy, with the scarecrow, with the box. When the police arrived, they found the back door slightly ajar. No forced entry, no fingerprints, nothing stolen. Except one thing, the scarecrow. It was gone. The package on the porch, gone too. Security footage from our doorbell camera was corrupted between 8:07 p.m. and 8:19 p.m., just static. The neighbors across the street reviewed their footage. They caught a glimpse of someone walking up to our porch earlier that evening. Not a kid, not someone in costume, a tall figure in a dark hoodie carrying something large. But they never saw them leave. The police suggested it might have been an attempted burglary, someone using Halloween as cover, testing doors.
Moving decorations, trying to scare us inside long enough to slip in through the back. But that explanation never sat right with me, because no one could explain the boy. No parents reported a pirate matching his description. No kids on the block remembered him. And no one could explain how our living room light had been turned off. Now, every Halloween, we keep the lights off. No decorations, no candy bowls, no handwritten signs. The door stays locked. Because something about that night changed me. It wasn't just about a porch pirate stealing packages. It was about realizing how easily someone or something can stand right outside your door, smiling in costume, blending into tradition, waiting for you to look the other way. And sometimes, when October rolls around and the air gets that same crisp edge, I swear I see a small pirate costume standing across the street under the flickering lamppost, watching, not asking for candy, just waiting for someone to open the door again.
Halloween that year wasn't supposed to be memorable. It was just another Thursday. My wife had taken the day off work. The kids were home from school, excited about costumes and candy. The house smelled like cinnamon candles and something baking in the oven. Outside, leaves scraped along the driveway whenever the wind picked up. We've lived in that house for 6 years. Old place. Hardwood floors that creak, radiators that hiss in the winter, the kind of house that makes noise even when nothing's happening. The cellar door sat in the hallway between the kitchen and the living room. Old wood, peeling paint, a brass handle that always felt colder than the rest of the house. We didn't go down there much. Just storage, boxes, holiday decorations, tools. Earlier that afternoon, I'd gone down to grab a plastic skeleton and some fake cobwebs. It felt normal, quiet, dusty, maybe a little colder than upstairs, but that's how cellars are. By evening, the kids were in costume. My son wore a cheap vampire cape. My daughter insisted on being a witch for the 3rd year in a row. We put the candy bowl outside and turned on the porch light. The night felt ordinary until we heard the first noise. A dull thud from below. It wasn't loud, just enough to make us pause. We all looked at each other. "Probably something falling," I said. No one argued, but no one looked convinced either. 10 minutes passed. Then came a scraping sound. Slow, dragging, like wood against concrete. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, then stopped. The kids went quiet. I stood up and walked toward the cellar door, trying not to overreact. I told myself it could be anything. An old box shifting, a pipe expanding, a raccoon maybe. I stood there, listening. Nothing. The handle felt cold when I touched it, colder than it should have been. I didn't open it. We went back to the movie, but the mood had changed. It's strange how quickly comfort can disappear. The same room, same lighting, same people, but something feels off, like the house is holding its breath. Around 8, my daughter came into the living room holding her paint tray. "Dad, why did you move my paint?" I didn't. She frowned. "It was on the table." We checked. The red paint bottle sat in the hallway, right in front of the cellar door. No one admitted to moving it. I felt a tightness in my chest then, a small, quiet alarm going off somewhere deep. And then we heard it. 3 knocks from below. Clear, evenly spaced. Knock, knock, knock. Not random noise, not pipes, not settling wood. Knocking. My wife's hand found mine without either of us saying anything. That's when I knew we were thinking the same thing. Something was down there. We sent the kids upstairs and told them to stay in their room. I tried to keep my voice steady. I didn't want them scared, but I was. I grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer and walked to the cellar door. The brass handle felt like ice. I opened it slowly. The smell came first. Damp air, mold, something stale. The cellar light didn't turn on. It had worked earlier. I aimed the flashlight down the stairs. Concrete steps, stacked boxes, shelving. Everything looked normal at first. I stepped down a few stairs. That's when I saw it. One of our storage bins was out of place. It sat in the middle of the floor, open. I didn't remember leaving it like that. I moved the flashlight beam slowly across the room. The furnace, old shelves, laundry sink. Then I saw it. In the far corner, near the foundation wall, a pile that didn't belong. A pillow, a thin blanket, empty food wrappers, water bottles. My heart dropped. Someone had been living down there. The realization didn't come with panic at first, just disbelief. A quiet, cold understanding. I stood there too long, because that's when I heard it. Breathing. Slow. Not loud, but close. Too close. The beam of my flashlight trembled as I turned it toward the sound. And for half a second, I saw movement. A shape shifting back into the darkness behind the furnace. Human. I don't remember running up the stairs. I just remember slamming the cellar door shut and locking it, pushing the hallway cabinet in front of it while my wife called the police. They searched everything, the cellar, the yard, the attic, nothing. Whoever it was had slipped out through the small ground-level window in the cellar. The officers said it happens more than people think.
Someone finds an unlocked entry point, lives quietly inside a home, moves at night, watches. We moved out within a month, but what stays with me isn't the pillow or the wrappers, it's the knocking, because someone down there wanted us to know. Every Halloween now, when the house gets quiet and the wind hits just right, I remember that sound. 3 steady knocks, like someone asking to be let in, or reminding you they already are.
Last Halloween, we hosted a party at our place. Nothing huge, just friends, a few coworkers, some neighbors. People brought drinks, someone brought cheap decorations. By 9, the house felt full in that comfortable way. Music a little too loud, conversations overlapping, the smell of beer and candles mixing in the air. The front door stayed unlocked. It always does during parties. People step out to smoke, others show up late, you stop keeping track. Costumes were everywhere. A pirate arguing with a zombie about football, 2 witches taking selfies on the couch, someone in a ridiculous inflatable dinosaur suit knocking over a lamp. It felt normal, safe.
About 20 minutes later, my friend Melissa leaned toward me. "Hey," she said quietly, "who's the guy in the white mask?" I shrugged. "I thought he came with you guys." She frowned. "No." That's when I actually started paying attention. He had moved. Now he was near the hallway, not interacting, just looking around. Every time I glanced over, he was somewhere new, by the kitchen, near the back door, at the bottom of the stairs, but never part of anything. I started casually asking around, "Hey, you know the guy in the suit?" Everyone had the same answer. "I thought he was your friend." That's when my stomach tightened. There's a specific feeling when something doesn't add up. Not panic, just a quiet alarm going. There's something unsettling about not seeing someone's face when you're trying to read them. You can't tell if they're smiling, angry, nervous. It felt wrong, heavy. I laughed awkwardly and walked back out. But I didn't relax. I stepped outside and called my friend Jason. "Be honest," I said. "Who brought the guy in the white mask?" Pause. "What guy?" "The tall one, black suit." Another pause. "Dude, I thought he was your guest." That's when it hit me. He was looking inside, not moving, just standing there like he was taking mental notes. "Hey," I called out. My voice came out sharper than I expected. "Party's downstairs." He turned slowly. That blank mask. No emotion, no apology. Then he stepped into the bedroom and closed the door. I ran the rest of the way up, threw the door open. The room was empty. Closet closed, bathroom empty, window locked from the inside, no balcony, no place to go. But my desk drawer was open. The small lockbox we kept in there was sitting on the bed, unlocked, empty. The officer said something that stuck with me. You'd be surprised how often this happens during parties. Someone slips in, blends in, walks out. Later that week, I started looking into it. There are stories everywhere now. Videos online of strangers wandering through homes during gatherings. True crime podcasts covering cases where people lived secretly in attics or basements for weeks. So-called phantom squatters. People studying routines, waiting for the right distraction. It's easier than we think. All it takes is noise, a crowd, and the assumption that someone else knows the